are going to move forwards and be able to do the things that we want to really be doing, especially when we feel ourselves being pulled back in the opposite direction. This morning, I want to take a look at perhaps one of the most important questions of all, and what is that aspect of negativity that we all feel within inside of us? What is and where does it come from in terms of that if I use the realest, strongest word, that evil of that Yetzer hara, that inclination to do the wrong thing, the negative thing, where does it stem from? According to the Maharal of Prague, we have an incredible verse in the Torah that he wants to claim is the source of all evil. If you take a look in the story of Noah, right after God makes a rainbow and promises that he's never going to destroy the world again, he says, you know what, I'm going to give humankind a different level of standing. I give them a different perspective with which I'm going to look at them even, because Yetzer lev ha'adam ra minurav. Human beings are just negative. The heart of a human being is just so negative from their youth, from their very childhood. And if you take a look at the Rashi on that verse, it actually says, Yetzer yev ha'adam ra minurav. Rashi actually goes so far as saying, what does it say? Minurav, from the time of their youth. Don't read it from the time of their youth, but rather from the time mishenin ar, from the time that they begin to stir. Let's say mimei imo, niten bo Yetzer hara, from the very moment that a child is already stirring as a fetus in its mother's womb. At that point, I placed the Yetzer hara inside of a human being. Wow, my God, what an incredible thing to say. How are we even to understand this? From the time that a baby is born, they have an inclination for negativity. Now, anyone that's looked at a baby before has one of a singular approach, and that is, aren't they cute? And everyone loves a little newborn baby. How can you say, for the person that goes up to a little toddler and be like, oh, wow, he really looks evil? The parents are not going to appreciate that very much. So how are we to understand that the verse, our tradition tells us that from the very moment of wishing Mazel Tov, we should almost have an eye on that little kid because they're evil? So the Maharal and the Vilna Gaon both explain that what does it mean evil? What does it mean ra minurav? It means that to understand the source of negativity in this world is to actually realize that a person is a taker. A person has an innate sense of wanting to be selfish. And every single baby has this. And actually, that's very important because a baby can't feed themselves, dress themselves, clothe themselves, can't take care of themselves in any which way. So the mother has to literally put food into the mouth of the baby. The mother has to literally put clothing on the baby, hold the baby to their body for the sense of warmth, shelter, protection. It's important the baby is selfish because it needs to put food into its mouth. But to be able to turn around and say to a baby, listen, you didn't give me any sleep last night. I was up most of the night with you. How about you now think of others for a change? And tonight you're going to let me sleep through the night. That's not going to work very well. The baby is dependent entirely on the virtue of the fact that I want, I have to gain. Yet when that baby grows, there is an opportunity for them to start understanding that they're not a world unto themselves, and actually they can be a little less selfish. And anyone that's received a birthday card from a 5-year-old realizes how beautiful it is in that very moment to be seen as, oh my gosh, you can give. You're actually other than. You can actually now share. And that isn't perfect altruism. It's an expression of them and their selfhood. Yet when that child can become a 10-year-old, suddenly they can become a little less egocentric, and they can become a little more giving. I want you now to imagine a bar mitzvah boy, a bat mitzvah girl, at the age of 12, 13, actually at that point they can start to give back. I know of many b'nai mitzvah children in our community that have actually dedicated a tenth of their bar mitzvah gifts and presents that they have received to go to charity, to go to tzedakah. It's a beautiful mitzvah and a way of educating and inculcating in a 12, 13-year-old young adult that there is such a concept of tzedakah, of giving back. That still is not perfect chesed. That still is not perfect kindness or charity, because they never worked for that money. They never earned it. They never experienced. When a person is 20, when a person now starts to get a job, now starts to earn their own money, when a person begins to realize that the selfishness that they exhibit is now something to conquer and battle against, and they can actually do so in a complete way, that is the beginning of their journey into adulthood. And Judaism actually sees a change between the age of 13 and the age of 20 in terms of saying, you are now spiritually mature. What you do as a 20-year-old is going to reflect you and you only. It's an incredible idea. How can we fill that empty void of negativity? How can we fill that sense of just not wanting to do the things we should by proactively being orientated towards chesed, to be able to help another person, whether that is to call somebody up, whether that is to do the dishes at home, whether that is to help with the children, whether that is to try and find somebody a job, a marriage, spouse, partner, try and find somebody an opportunity to better someone else's station in life. These are a variety of different opportunities that we can all take in our lives. And in doing so, by living lives of chesed, lives of giving, we can actually combat that innate egocentric selfishness and never fall into the pitfalls of negativity. That's our 6 minutes for today. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you.